Hey, welcome to our God of War special. We're talking about God of War that just came out, today? Today's Friday.
Technically last night,
last night. So
the official release was today.
So we're going to be talking about our hands-on impressions of God of War for PlayStation 4. On 420.
420, blaze it.
So if you're listening to this...
This would be the dankest episode ever.
If you're listening to this in audio form, this is our podcast, episode 81. But if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much. Please like, comment, subscribe. And if you're listening to us on our RSS feeds across the cyberwebs, on iTunes, SoundCloud, whatever, feel free to give us a review and comment or whatever.
I'm glad you took a breath there, Brandon. I thought you were going to pass out.
How is everyone doing? Is everyone good?
Good. I want to go home and play God of War.
Yeah, I want to play God of War right now. All right, show's over. Playing God of War now.
All right, that's a good review.
Is this just turned into a Let's Play?
Yeah.
So we're talking about God of War.
Done.
Normally, we're going to talk about our normal show. We talk about what we've been playing throughout the week, which for most of us is just God of War. Sometimes we talk about the gaming news that's going on in the week, but there's
God of War came out.
God of War came out. There's really nothing else to talk about except for God of War. So that's what we're doing. Just God of War.
Mm-hmm.
Let's jump
God
into it.
God of War, 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 God of War.
Let's jump into it.
And that's
This is actually God of War
Oh yeah,
2.
Thanks, Steve. That's Steven. That's Jacob, and I'm Brandon.
Yeah.
And we're talking about.
I didn't even. I was like, what are you talking about?
We're talking about God of War, and what do you think about it, Jacob and Steven? Steven, you don't have it yet. Jacob does have it. I have it. Sorry, Steve, but Steven will be here.
I've been following it on YouTube because I can't wait. I'm impatient.
I can't wait.
I wanted to be able to experience it somewhat, so I still have an opinion about it. I don't have anything bad to say because I can't say anything bad about it.
Jacob, I'm curious. You've never played a God of War game, right?
Correct.
So this is the perfect place to just jump in. Is a brand new reimagining of God of War, at least from a mechanical standpoint. The story is, of course, still continuing from, and we're gonna get
Where 3 left off.
Yeah. By the way, this is total spoiler free. Spoiler free. If there's any spoilers, it's just we're talking about like mechanics.
The previous games, probably.
And,
if we want to talk about.
Yeah. No, that's free game.
Okay.
We're gonna spoil the heck out of the old
1, 2, 3. Oh, geez, sorry.
But the new game, I'm not even far enough to spoil anything anyway.
Yeah.
So Jacob, what do you think so far, being a first timer in God of War?
I wish I would have played the other ones. I've stated before, I have a hard time going back and playing, and I didn't want to be a poser. Because I didn't want to be like, God of War is the greatest franchise ever. Did you play 1, 2, and 3? No!
Did you play any of them?
No, you can't have an opinion. But says the internet.
There's a lot of lore, not only Greek mythology lore, but
Norse.
But with God of War, they kind of rewrote some of that stuff.
Yeah.
And they wrote their own little...
it's based loosely on lore.
For example, Kratos' brother Deimos, which was in the PSP game. I believe, was that Chains of Olympus? I think it was Chains.
I think that is Chains of Olympus or Ascension.
Deimos was like this. There was a prophecy that a person with the markings that Kratos has would destroy Olympus. And the gods thought it was Deimos because he was born with a birth defect where he had like this glowing weird scar that is in the shape of Kratos' tattoos because he got that tattooed on him in his brother's memory. And so it turns out Kratos was that prophecy. So the prophecy was true.
It was true.
But like Steve, we were talking about earlier, the gods tried to preemptively strike that. And
every time, and I mean, when you look at the actual history, anytime the gods, mythology, history type deal, anytime the gods preemptively act, it always spells out bad for the gods. That's literally what happened in the Greek mythology as far as how the gods of Olympus came to be. The Titan Kronos was afraid of the gods coming up to rise him, to defeat him, so he ate all of his children who were the gods, except for Zeus, who was hidden. Zeus rose against him because he preemptively struck, because why else would they not attack him?
And they tell all that story in the God of War games. Yeah. They just kind of put their own spin on it and put Kratos there. So you're not missing a whole lot.
That was going to be my next point. I know the storyline to the point of Sparks notes of being able to give a synopsis.
Kratos was mad. He killed everyone and destroyed the
universe.
He killed his family. His ashes. That's why he's pale. His ashes are imprinted on him from his family, his village that he killed.
He was misled by Ares.
And so it sent him on the path to kill all the gods.
So you know the Sparks.
Became a god.
Yeah, became a god.
Can't forget that.
Which is important because it's hinted at in this game.
And remember, Kratos was a demigod to begin with because he's Zeus' son.
Right.
So he was a demigod, turned god, fell from god status again, and then got mad, started killing everyone. But he has the power of a god because of the spark of Pandora and all that stuff.
Right.
So
what do I think? Which part? Like,
let's talk about it as a game.
As a game,
not even as a God of War. As a game, let's pretend it's not Kratos and his son. Let's pretend it's just some random dude.
I think it's a game I needed, and I think I stated this is more of a Jacob personal thing, but I feel like we've gotten a lot of these here lately. Is these nothing wrong with Far Cry 5. But these games that are wide open sandbox and choose your own path, and that's fine.
Like poof, all right, figure
it out, and that's fine. But I kind of feel like me personally, I need
need to be
a linear-ish. And I know God of War is gonna have little options to go. Right now, I'm in the lake. Right now, so I'm kind of doing little side missions.
And the lake is open.
The lake is open now,
so
that's where I'm kind of starting to get that.
That's as open as it's gotten for me so far. I'm not too far ahead of you. You can side quest a little bit, but you're always constantly on that track moving forward.
I find how the lake is set up, between watching clips on YouTube and watching Brandon, I find that it kind of reminds me of a lot of how Ocarina of Time was. And the lake you can think of as like your Hyrule field.
It's kind of like your hub.
And your hub, thank you. Your hub.
I had a feeling that's where it's going with that.
Yeah.
Now, I have visited 2 realms outside of Midgard, which is the base area that you're at. Mm-hmm. And so far those were completely pretty much linear. Like, there was a little bit of exploring, but not nearly as open as that lake was. Mm-hmm. Specifically, the first one I went to, not the second one was more of like a challenge area. But so as far as the gameplay, how do you like the combat?
Oh, the combat's amazing.
Let's jump straight into gameplay and let's talk about it.
For that linear aspect, it definitely helps drive Jacob personally, because with Far Cry, I'll get on like, do I want to go kill Faith? Do I want to kill Jacob? Do I want to go do this? Do I want to do this? Now I have a mission. It's go kill stuff and go to the top of the mountain right now, and that's kind of the main goal. And
the side quests are like, hey, and even Kratos is like, we do not have time for this.
Yeah, to the spirits.
And he's just like,
he's wanting to hit the spirits, right.
He's like, all right, just for you.
Just for you. Okay, little boy.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's like, we shouldn't be distracted. And he always says, we don't need to be doing this.
Yeah.
Don't help anyone. Kratos does not like anyone.
But the gameplay, oh my gosh. I played it on, I did normal. So you have the
balanced?
Easy or balanced.
That's what I
easy
picked. I picked the balanced.
Being new to the franchise.
By the way, let's talk about the difficulty screen. That's the best done difficulty screen where it's I want a story, which means... it's pretty much
not so much.
Yeah, it's just if you really want.
I want to walk cruise control.
Yeah, if you just want a very soft core experience, that's your mode. I want a balanced experience is the next one, and it's like, okay, I want a little bit of a challenge, but also I'm here for the story as well. And there's I want a challenge, which is like, this is for experienced players. Do not pick this if you do not. If you're not hardcore, don't pick this. And then lastly, I'm assuming we're gonna get this like it was in other God of War games. Once you complete it once, you get the God of War mode, which is like probably Dark Souls level difficulty.
Yeah.
And then I'm playing the balance mode. There's some people giving me some run for my money.
I've died.
I've died a couple times.
I've died a fair amount. I've died the not Wraith. I was gonna say Witch. The Wraiths.
The Wraith.
What's her name? The chicks. The female.
The magic. Revenants.
Revenants. Thank you. I was new as an R. Got me one time, and the first time I was introduced to the heavy
guys.
The heavy, we call them.
The first time I died was I found this like tear in reality.
Oh,
it's like a challenge tear.
I opened that up.
I was like, "What's this?" And the guy came out, he was like, "Hi, I'm level 7." And I was like, I was level 2. I'm still level 2 at the time.
It was like that little old cartoon animation of like dust and feet and hands kicking out.
No, I just imagine Tom and Jerry. He goes, and it's like, whoop. Kratos falls over.
Yeah. It's like when you're in WoW and you're in a level that's like way too high and the aggro range is like ginormous, and that one skull level monster just comes from like feels like yards away and just one hit.
And it kind of does that. It kind of it puts their level above their head, and if they're a certain color, it lets you know that
purple is.
You probably shouldn't be messing with that guy.
No, but I know gameplay is amazing, man. It's so satisfying. I love the slow mo quick time events. I love his shield. I love the fan shield that just goes. And being able to go, and I'm all about a shield and blocking and being able to.
That's a new thing.
Defend with a shield, yeah. So like,
there was always parries. Like he had the golden fleece and stuff in the old ones, but this one's different. It's like you pop that shield at just the right time, and it'll kind of boom and go in slow motion. And
if you spec it, you can actually come back and shield bash.
Yeah, and you can. Let's talk about so the gameplay in general, just the fighting mechanics it's kind of like, I don't want to say Dark Souls like, it's sort of like the R1 and R2, the heavy strikes. It's kind of like that, but the fact that you can throw your axe and have it come back to you, it's so fun to be able to heavy throw, freeze this guy, and now I've got my fists.
Yeah.
And the axe and the fists play differently. So like the axe does straight damage, and it provides a little bit of a stun. So the enemies you're fighting have a health bar, they have a stun bar. Health is going down, stun is going up, depending on how fast you're attacking.
And if you use light attacks, the stun goes up higher.
And if you're using your fists, the stun goes way faster.
I love doing that.
So
yeah, what's the ice guys that you can't?
Those ice guys are kind of immune to your axe. There's certain types of bad guys where you might be better off hitting stuns and getting those R3. It's kind of like you get like that glory kill style thing from Doom, where it's like once they get to a certain stun, you hit R3 and then it's
so
instant kill.
Well, that's how it's always. I mean that has just been the pinnacle of the God of War franchise. Franchise is what I was about to say. But I mean, just those glory kills, those. Not quick time moments, but like, you know, when the button comes over their head and it's like, okay, you press that button.
Yeah, usually the higher the enemy, like a Cyclops or something, you would have some button inputs to do. There have been a few where I've gotten that R3 prompt, and I'm not going to tell you what it was I was fighting. I probably couldn't tell you what it was anyway. But it said like click R3 to grab him, and then once I grabbed it, it said mash R1 or R2, and so R1 was just punches and R2 was stomps. And it's
good old Kratos.
Yeah, so I love throwing
things never change.
Throwing that axe really helps out with puzzles too.
I was going to say there's not just a fighting element with the throwing the axe. It's like a huge puzzle.
Like you raise a door with this chain. And you
gotta hold it.
Yep, throw it, freeze the gear, and then you walk through. And then you can just hit triangle and zoop, comes right back.
Yep.
I love that one with the spikes where you had to spin the things, but then you had to spin it. Throw it at something, spin it again, so you're constantly...
Yeah, you're going to get good at throwing that axe, too. And then there's actually something you can spec where if you get a precise hit, like a headshot, it'll charge it when it comes back, so when you throw it, it does extra damage. And there's another tier under that where if you have it supercharged after 2 precise hits, you throw it, it does an explosion, and just... Poof.
Oh, I had a moment where I was fighting, and there was the fireball guy, the fireball Draugr were throwing at me, and I saw him in the corner of my eye, because they give you the little arrows that point to where you're coming from. If they're red, it's a melee guy right to be close to you. If it's purple, it's a projectile. And so I knew it was a projectile, and I went, whoa! I went through him, stuck and froze him, and then it was a red here, and I went shield bash, and then caught, and I was like, oh, this is
that's awesome.
Just
that sounds
from
great.
one. But if I wanted to, I just could have went bash, 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 bash. I mean, the dynamic of how you want to approach every fight.
I love how smooth it is too. Like in everything, from watching Brandon play, from watching people on YouTube play, everything's so smooth. Like for what you said, you know, like throw, bash, catch, attack.
Right.
Like, that's great.
Oh,
but
dude,
one thing
I did this kill earlier. Sorry, I mean
that's fine.
I threw an axe. I missed, but I was like, pulled it right back, and I went zoom,
right through him.
Killed him. Triple kill and came back, and that was the last 3.
Really great.
Nice.
Now, one thing that I do want to talk about that's really great as far as the gameplay is how well the partner system kind of goes off between Kratos and Atreus. Now, this is a brand new concept in the series, and I mean, I really love how it's like, you know, press square and he's hitting your targets. You know, like look, press square. And what does he say whenever he shoots the arrows?
Well, mine says something. I can't say what he's saying.
Sorry.
Mine in particular, he shoots a different arrow right now.
Oh, okay.
But you get that unlocked. But
it sounds like it's some kind of command or something that he says. It's really cool.
He kind of blesses his arrows as he shoots.
Well, I kind of figured it was because they showed it in the commercial.
Yeah.
So, but I more with Atreus, it's more so not mechanical, but it's narrative.
Right.
I love this.
We'll get on that in a second.
Okay, I'm getting myself.
But I mean, just the gameplay as far as it, like sometimes Atreus will get up on a bad guy, take his bow, put it around its neck, and hold him for you.
Yours might not do that yet.
I haven't done that yet.
Yours doesn't do that yet.
It's okay.
The more you get, the further you get in the game.
I knew it's coming.
Not just.
This is an example.
Not just from a narrative standpoint, but from a like you could be doing side quests. It's not necessarily the main quest that's making that happen. It's just the more acclimated he gets with combat, he starts getting more comfortable getting in there.
Yeah,
now,
I think of things.
Actual humans, Kratos does not allow it. He says, "I'll handle that."
Oh, I knew that was.
I have to do this. You
what
can't.
If we have people that want to rob from us?
So like. Yeah, so that does help out a lot. Like, whenever he's got those stuns going on, like he'll stun a character, and then you can charge that if you have the ability. You can charge your heavy hit and just lay into the guys and just like those hits are so satisfying.
That cleave, or he'll just lop the head off.
Or even like he's got someone stunned, it's like okay, he's a still target, so I'm just gonna freeze him now. Throw the axe and freeze him, and then go ahead and beat these guys up. And then if you're killing people constantly and you're fighting a lot of bad guys, your rage meter builds up. And that Spartan rage, which is a thing from all the God of Wars. But I actually just before you came over, I just unlocked the one where he picks up the rock and throws it, and I can't wait to use it. But it's like he drops everything, and it's just Kratos raw strength beating the crap out of people like
the Kratos that you all know and love.
You can hit that one. You hit R2 for like a big power slam.
Smash, shockwave smash.
You can upgrade that to make it have a bigger radius and a more deadly force to it. And you can get like a stomp where you stomp the ground and kind of throws everybody's balance off. And you can hold down R1 and do a big like haymaker punch and just send people flying off the cliff or whatever.
And they have those little power-ups that your rage meter will obviously charge as the more you fight, but then they also have the things you stomp on to get the health, but you also stomp on the red ones.
Health stones.
That fill the fury meter
I call them rage stones. I'm not sure if that's right.
Yeah, the little red stones.
But yeah, it'll refill. And then your equipment, man. You get...
Yeah.
I did not know...
His gear.
I was on Media Blackout for God of War, and I did not know that there was going to be this deep
so much
RPG... customizable system. Just you have your axe, you have the hilt changes stats,
runes,
the runes that you put on change, they give you different special skills, the different armor pieces you've got like luck and cooldown and runic,
you
and
have a talisman that gives you health.
You've got all these different stats that are all customizable by what type of armors you're buying or crafting at the armor shop, and you can enhance those.
Yep.
You can enhance them so they're even better.
And you can do the same thing for Atreus as well.
And but his aren't quite as customizable. It's kind of like, do I want him to be
more
aggressive? Do I want him to attack?
Exactly.
Do I want him to stand afar and shoot?
Do I want him to be
healer
kind of
a healer? Yeah.
Right.
Do you want a healer? And then that really helps out as well. And then all the armor looks great. All of it looks amazing. The Reaver tunic I wasn't too big on.
Yeah, that's what I got just because I wanted some defense.
But I don't know. I had to have Kratos with his chest out because he's buff and he's awesome.
Yeah.
And sexy.
I want to disclaimer too. I have my son here, so if we hear him crying in the background, I'm sorry.
That's no big deal.
Okay. But I was surprised, and that's coming from Jacob didn't play the old, because I was kind of oblivious. It's like, what did they have? I knew that Kratos had gear, you had the Cessnas
Not like this.
and stuff like that in the old series, but I was like, I don't think you could customize like this. So this is all,
all this is brand new.
Pretty much when you picked up gear, it was just like throughout the game and it was story.
It was kind of like Zelda style. You pick up a hook shot or something in Zelda, it's now yours and you have it.
Cestus
the Nemean Cestus or the Golden Fleece, the Wings of Icarus, whatever. Those were all things that you just kept. What?
I was just laughing at I was thinking of some of the kills that Kratos does in the previous.
So the kills. So Kratos is more tame now.
Yes.
Let's use it. Are we done talking about the gameplay?
Sure.
Yeah.
We really haven't. I've only clocked in about 7 or 8 hours.
And I won't be able to give a good analysis on it until I actually play it. So.
You probably clocked about 6 or 7, huh?
Yeah, maybe 5. Maybe 5.
But yeah, all this is just our hands-on. We're not really... We're probably going to talk about this later, of course.
Yeah.
We might even do like a spoiler cast. But I do like the fact that the camera is totally locked behind Kratos, like over the shoulder style. It used to be just kind of different camera angles, usually just kind of a far out view.
It seemed like it was more of like an overview of like where Kratos was standing.
But he was always flailing them blades around. Like I mean, he was like
he had a good 360 view of him. But
he took up like 30 feet of the screen. Now it's more down to earth.
Like you said, Dark Souls kind of close combat.
You're fighting like
one-on-one engagements almost.
Maybe like a dozen people at most.
Well, the thing about the Blades of Chaos is that there's the chain. They have chains on the end of them that are soldered to his skin. So like he can't get rid of them. So he uses the chains to flail them around. So you have to have that camera angle so that you can see everything.
Yeah.
Whereas now that they don't have the Blades of Chaos,
now everything is grounded.
Everything's grounded.
It's close. There's a lot of nods to the old games. Like there's this one type of enemy I can actually see them on the back of the box here. They're trolls. And they're kind of like the Cyclopses in the old God of War. Once you get that R3 prompt, you kind of, and this isn't spoiling anything because it's used in the old God of Wars, you hop on top of them, and when you punch them, your controlling the troll, and so you can just take out crowds of people, or you can fight another troll. You do light punch, he kind of goes around. Heavy punch, he kind of does a ground slam, and that's what they did with the Cyclops. And so there's a lot of enemy types that are kind of fitting like the archetypes of the old games as well. And some of his kill animations are the same ones from the old games as well.
Yeah.
Like the dog, whenever you get the dog R3 thing, it's that he hits him on the ground, kicks him, and flings him to the other side of the room. That's from the old game.
You played Dante's Inferno?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Dante's Inferno is like great value
Pretty
God
much,
of War.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna draw a comparison to when he controls.
All I
one of the
know
big
about
ones,
that
but-
game is Devil Dawn.
But we're not gonna talk about that because this
Devil.
is the one that this game franchise invented that
Third
type
person
deal.
hack
But
and
like,
slash.
Hey, how about the fact that Kratos can sprint now?
Yeah.
That sprint, man, he can.
Him and Big Boss.
I figured he could. I don't know
know,
why
for
they
mainly
didn't
a
have-
I
sprint.
don't know, man. Kratos might have this one now.
For mainly a sprint.
So yeah, let's kind of jump into the
narrative?
the narrative a little bit because
Yes.
it's gonna be quick. We're not really talking about much.
I have some things I'd like to point out.
I mean, this is very, very mild. We're talking about first like 15 minutes of story in the game. So Kratos' wife, who is Atreus' mother, of course,
He says her name.
Faye.
Faye
is
He's
passed
walking
on.
back. He's like, "Help me! What do I do?" Yeah.
The game starts off. You're getting a tree to set a fire to pretty much cremate her, and then he gets the ashes, and they're like, we're going to journey to the top of the mountain.
Yeah, pyre.
Events transpire. I'm not going to talk about what happens in there, but basically the goal is him and Atreus are trying to get to the top of the mountain to pass on the ashes.
That was Faye's last wish.
And they're hitting just obstacle after obstacle because it just seems like someone is constantly trying to get in their way.
He didn't. He's been trying to get Atreus ready because he doesn't believe Atreus is ready for the journey.
Yeah.
And they kind of get forced into it. No spoiler, we're not going to talk about that, but forced into it. Well, we got to go.
It's like, we got to go. You're not ready yet, but we're just going to have to deal with it. And whenever we say he's not ready, like he hesitates on the bow. He's not ready to kill his his deer. Yeah.
He has to put his hand on him and help him.
Yeah, he has to help him. And then so as the events are transpiring, Atreus is getting a little bit more acclimated to that kind of.
Yeah.
He's having to kill things. He's having to kill creatures and people. Well, not necessarily.
Get out of the
Kratos is
comfort
having.
zone.
Yeah, well, he's having to become a man, and that's kind of. And Kratos is a. I wouldn't want him to be my father figure because he's rough, man.
I gotta say, this is probably one of the best narratives in a game that I've seen in a long time.
I would agree.
Very long
There's
time.
been so many
story writing is just
Kratos is
far
no holds
along.
barred. He's a jerk, but that's the way he is, but he's like
when you've been through what he's been through.
First off,
you'd
he's
be a jerk
a
too.
Spartan. Right?
he's a Spartan, so
So
he's trained.
they were
like a Spartan.
trained from that. He's a jerk before he
betrayed-
got his powers.
Betrayed by anyone who ever tried to help him was just using him. Betrayed by the
pretty much.
gods, he became a god.
Destroyed the gods.
The gods got scared of him and like, we can't have him here. And they tried to kill him, and then he destroyed pretty much the whole universe of Greek mythology.
Right.
And we don't know. I still don't know how he got here.
And let's talk about this. You can definitely tell he's aging.
He's old.
He's getting old.
He's old.
He's a little wrinkly and crusty.
Boy.
He's wrinkly. He gets tired now. He's not get tired. He gets tired.
Yeah. And this is coming from a personal place for me. Obviously, you can hear my son right now. Obviously, my son is not. We're gonna assume that Atreus is between the age of 8 and 10, maybe, probably, maybe 12.
I'd say
He's not teen.
I say
yet.
about 10 years old. I guess.
And so I mean, obviously I haven't been a father long, but just with like this right now, where he's screaming your head off. Your human nature, when you first become the dad, you have to be like, you just want to like, what is wrong with you? And you have to go, stop. And there's so many
of all
teams-
people to be like that,
Yes.
Kratos, who was used to be like, oh, this isn't going my way. Well, I'm just gonna, yeah. There's one part where the very beginning scene of God of War 1, whenever the Leviathan is swallowing people up.
Yep.
And you got to get the key from the captain.
I love this
and
part.
it's on his neck, and he could easily just pull the captain up and just save them, but he just goes, "Ah, screw you!" Pulls the chain off and just pushes them down the throat.
You came back for me.
And it's funny because later in the game, you're climbing out of Hades, and that guy's also trying to climb out of Hades, and he's like, "Wait for me!" And he looks, he's like, "Oh no!" And then Kratos kicks him in the head, and he falls back down into Hades.
And then you see him a third time too.
But I love the point I was making about the having to learn how to be a parent. And I mean, obviously, Kratos has been a parent for a while, but it's kind of probably understood at that point. You know, Faye has probably done a fair amount of this.
She was doing all of she was raising him, and Kratos was just being the provider and helping him survive.
Let's talk about this. Atreus has got some scars.
He's got some
stuff
scars.
has happened.
And,
since
and
then.
apparently he was sick.
Yes.
He was sick with something. And
I'm better now. I'm better.
They
now.
haven't said what. And apparently, look, I don't know much about Norse mythology. I know more about Greek than I do Norse. But they were talking about like things like, oh, the desolation's going on right now. Like I don't know what that is. There's a reason that we're not finding people. Like everyone's in hiding. Like people are getting
there's
sick.
not a lot of people
I'm not sure if that's a thing in Norse mythology. And I also don't know like.
It could have something to do with what happened in the previous God of War, because wasn't there like a sickness that was let out of Pandora's box?
No, not really. That was like Zeus's hidden rage.
I thought something in there like made the gods weaker or something. That's why Kratos was able to kill him, but I don't know.
Well, we don't know if
what's
this
going
is.
on
Yeah, we don't know if this is a whole other universe. We don't know anything about that, so we can't really say anything on
I'm
it.
gonna say this much though: there is a very powerful moment, and I won't get into it. And it really just tells you how powerful the narrative is, where Atreus is upset about something, and Kratos, for the first time, I see him show some like emotion. Like he goes to put his hand on Atreus' back, like it's gonna be okay, and then he's like,
"Oh, I've seen it."
But he pulls
it away.
He does that like twice.
But I love. That's what I was getting to. Is I've had to learn how to calm. Now this is on a very large scale, but I've had to learn how to calm down, and I'm responsible for this person now, and that's him. He is having to balance. I must go through and do this.
Man. Whenever people try to mess with Atreus, it's like. There's a couple moments where
the meeting with somebody.
Well, you get there's a couple moments you get a scripted rage moment. You get a scripted Spartan rage, and you get to play that moment, and it's like, oh my god,
guess I won.
Get him, Kratos.
Yeah. He just grabs a tree and goes swam.
Yeah.
But I love this nature inside of him.
I warned you.
He said something. What is it? It was back
There's a part whenever he's like, I'm sorry, Father. He's like, don't be sorry. Be better.
Yeah. Well, there was a moment where it was early on. He said something, and he said something to him. He was like, and then he stopped and he goes. And he lowered his voice and went, and he talked to him in a softer voice, like calm.
Like whenever
he's having this war inside of him. He's this God of War, this war inside of him with learning how to be a father.
To see him not just being a father, but being a better person, just trying to bring himself down to reality and not just kill for the answer. That was always his answer. Was like, I don't like the way this guy's doing this. I'm just gonna kill him.
That scene, but yeah, like you said, he's very defensive of him. It's so many scenes you're like, you just think he's dead. Kratos is just cold. He'll die, whatever. But there's so many scenes where like the bridge collapsed, and he's like here, and he hugs him, and he falls.
Yeah, and he puts his back
sheltered.
to the ground.
Yeah, and that's just instinct for him to do it.
Yeah.
So he's reached this mode, and it's just a whole side like we've never seen.
I can tell you
it's just great.
A little bit later. I'm gonna leave it completely ambiguous, but throughout the journey, there are some very serious character flaws that Kratos has, and that Atreus doesn't need to be hearing, and then they clash. There's moments where Kratos is like, "You think I want to be here with you?" He's like, "I'm trying to get up to the mountain. You're just slowing me down.
You know? Dead weight, yeah."
But there's moments where he's like, he realizes he can't be like that, and then there's so many moments where there's complications and just the banter between both of them. Getting in a boat and riding, he's like, "Father, do you know any stories?"
I do not know.
And but yeah, he's always asking him. He's always asking him like all these questions about Norse mythology. And he's like, "I do not know." He's like, "Do you think this person's like this?" "I do not know." "What about like this?" "I do not know."
And it's literally, think of like a dad on a trip with a son. Dad.
Are they it?
And Mom knows everything. Faye knows everything, and Kratos doesn't know anything about Norse mythology.
There's a scene where Atreus was actually teaching him some stuff. He's like quizzing him about like.
There's a lot.
Oh, you do remember that stuff? He's like, yes, I do.
There's a lot of lore, and like whenever you fight an enemy, if you fight that revenant, now you have a lore thing where you can go and you can read about the revenants.
Read about him.
Now,
your journal guide.
Since I'm so unfamiliar with Norse mythology versus Greek mythology, it's like I'm seeing a lot of these enemies. Like I don't even know what this is, but I mean, I know it's on the level of the Cyclops from like Greek mythology is like centaurs and satyrs and all that stuff. Like I know all those. But maybe now after playing this, I'll know a little bit more about Norse mythology. I'm starting to learn about
trolls and draugrs.
I'm starting to learn about the realms, and of course Thor and Loki and Odin are bound to make an appearance. I haven't seen any of that. I've seen statues.
We've seen statues in there, so we know they're in that realm.
And I heard a guy who talk about Thor. Are we going to fight him? I'm gonna guess yes.
How cool would it be if Kratos gets Mjolnir?
I mean, he don't need it, man. He got that.
I know, but it's still cool, bro.
That Leviathan axe is dope, man. I kind of prefer that axe.
Ain't gonna be no Chris Hemsworth Thor either.
I think he's gonna be more like
drunken
Lord.
turd.
Yeah, drunken turd. That's the best way to put it, I think. Because I did a side quest where a guy was talking about.
Yep.
You did that side quest?
Yep.
Okay. But yeah, dude. That's really all I just got to the point where I got to the base of the mountain, and it's like, okay, time to start climbing up. That's where I got.
Very cool.
All the rest of the stuff I did was side quests, so nothing really big, no big story beats. But I'm really looking forward to jumping into that and learning about. I really want to know, how did Kratos get here? That's the biggest thing. That's if they don't explain that, I'm gonna be so mad.
Yeah.
But I think they will. I think they're gonna explain everything.
I mean, they're just raising the bar, man. They just continually impress me with the story. I mean, God of War's story has always been pretty good. You know, the old God of War. Like God of War, I think is probably one of my favorite storylines because it's like the rise and fall of Kratos.
Right.
Rise, fall, subsequent rise again. You know, and it's like
this is a whole nother ball game.
Yeah,
for Kratos.
exactly.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about raising the bar, let's talk about the presentation of the game. What do you think about how it looks, how it sounds?
So
gorgeous. Pretty good.
All right, so not only does it look amazing, I want to talk about the sound design. The sound design is something that I've been noticing. I've been wearing my 3D headset.
So
but just not only is it stereo, I can hear all kinds of different areas, but like
there's keys.
There's
audio cues
like Atreus will be like, "Father, behind you," and then you can hit that button to do the quick turn, and then or if he's like, "Father, watch out!" If you just dodge, even if you don't know where it's coming, if you dodge, chances are because you listen to him, you're gonna miss getting a fatal blow. That actually helped out a lot. There was a boss battle where that's where I learned to start listening because like. I was at very close quarters. I was fighting a troll in very close quarters, and I was having to dodge. Like I didn't even know it was coming because I was too busy running it, and I couldn't see behind me. Right. He was like, "Father, look out!" And I would be like, "Ooh!" And I would dodge, and it'd be because he said so. I was good.
Yeah, that's cool. Finding hidden stuff. The raven's
making the noise.
The Odin's eye. Excuse me.
The voiceovers. Kratos' voice actor, Christopher Judge, kills it. The little boy that does Atreus, I forget his name. But man, none of the voice acting is like
not at all.
None of it sounds like off or boring or whatever. It's all good.
The first encounter with the guy we talked about at Kratos' house. That guy, he's got that. He's kind of like he's a little
drunk.
And then he gets serious. You're like, oh.
But yeah, I can't.
The voice acting's great.
I can't explain the different realms that you go to. Like Midgard looks nice. Like at nighttime, it's like, oh, this looks pretty. And at daytime, it's like, whoa. And then you go to several other realms. I've only been to two. One of which was like absolutely astounding. It was like
everything I've seen.
Did you find the lady yet?
Yeah,
the turtle lady. All right, so you know how her area was really, really colorful. It's like that, but it's the whole world, the whole realm. And at nighttime,
nature realm.
At nighttime, it's like everything's glowing, like these glowing butterflies. It's beautiful, dude. It's like Skyrim times a million. It's amazing, dude. The armor pieces all look like
absolutely
really cool. Actually, I gotta show you those armor pieces I found. They're so cool.
Animations are great.
Oh god, the animations are good.
So
that motion capture work. And let's talk about the biggest thing here I want to talk about that's blowing me away is one of the technical things about this game that blows my mind. There is no loading screens in this game.
Yep.
You boot up once, and the game is one continuous shot. It never leaves Kratos. It never leaves that same position unless it's to zoom out and show you something.
What's going on?
It never goes into like, you know how you play Grand Theft Auto. Oh, it's cutscene time. It's like this is the game. Like I never liked it when you play a game and those black bars close and it's like, okay, well, it's time to watch a movie. This is like you're in the game. Yeah. It's happening around you.
There's moments where you're like, oh, I gotta pick it back up. Okay.
Yeah, there really is. Yeah. It's amazing. Dude, the lighting.
The very first scene.
Oh yeah,
the axe. Where you're just chopping the first tree down. You're like, oh, I have control. Okay.
Yeah, just the way they implement things like that. It's really cool. Being able to just tap square to get Atreus to shoot an arrow, and he knows what you're looking at. He knows where to shoot. He might miss a shot, but that's if you're shooting too fast. It's on you giving him the commands.
Yeah.
Dude, the lighting in this game, I don't know if you've been in any dark areas, but whenever it's lit up around you, like they have like these crystals that kind of let off this light, and it looks so good. Like seeing Kratos walk in, like I don't know if you saw when he walks in the door, and like it's just his silhouette almost.
Oh yeah.
And it's like the door shuts behind him. Oh, it's so good, man. Yeah. Dude, graphically, we're playing on the regular PS4. I can only imagine
what Pro looks like.
On PS4 Pro, it probably would blow my soul. Blow my soul.
I need to bring that to Brad's.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. But yeah, that's really kind of it. Just kind of covering all the bases, doing a quick talk on it. So far, give me a rating.
A rating? Ooh.
I can't give one because I haven't played it yet.
I mean, I'm right now.
I hate to.
Sorry.
I'm gonna give it. I don't have any gripes. 5 out of 5. Thus far.
It's 5 out of 5 for me. I have no. If I had to give a couple complaints, and these aren't, I wouldn't even.
I literally cannot.
This is me looking for something to gripe about.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a lot of menus. Sometimes, like whenever you go into the tutorials and stuff, it's like go here, go here, go here, go here. There's a lot. There's a lot of menu going on, but once you learn it, you're fine.
Yeah.
It's just that beginning where it's like, oh wow, this is a lot to take in.
Right.
But once you figure it out, you know where everything's gonna be. That and kind of touching base on it, the tutorial, I kind of would like to have seen like a little bit more instead of just like open up the menu, push this button to equip, unequip, or whatever. I would have liked to see in hey, Father, that's a talisman. This is what it does. You should give that check that out whenever you get a chance.
Just a little neater way to.
Yeah, but that is not even. I don't even. That's me looking for something to gripe about. Everything else is. I can't put this game down. It's addictive. I was playing last night, and I was like, oh, I need to find a good stopping spot. It's getting kind of close to my bedtime. It's like 10. It's getting close to 10 o'clock. I was like, let me find a good stopping spot. I found a stopping spot. I was like, okay, let me check the time. It's 11 o'clock. I was like, oh,
I'm going to tell you this much.
And I didn't even want to stop. I didn't want to stop there.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you this much. I anticipate it being perfect for me as well. Just from what I've seen, it's hard for me to find a flaw. And I don't think I will. I don't think I will find any flaws. I think it's going to be a perfect game. I think it's going to be, when I actually get around to playing it, I think it's going to be up there, top 5 of all time.
It very well could be because, like, when you just said it, score it, and I was like, okay, let me think of the cons real quick.
Ding ding ding.
So I could think of anything, and now again we're coming off of a hype. So
especially this is kind of like my number one most anticipated game of this year.
Yeah, exactly. I was kind of hoping if The Last of Us 2 would have came out, that'd been my most anticipated, but
I don't. I'll tell you why.
And this is definitely, man. I don't see anything. Red Dead or Spider-Man are gonna have to bring their A game.
Those are both going to be great games.
They are going to be great.
They're going to be incredible games.
No,
but
absolutely.
the thing
they're
is,
going to have to dethrone this for the end of the year for me.
If they want that number one spot, they're going to have to step it up.
Oh man,
it's not going to be. It's not going to be like, all right, let me put these together and compare them. It's going to be, hey, Kratos has got the spot. You guys got to.
It's funny. We're talking about this right now. We've only played for 7 hours.
Yeah,
that's.
And the thing is, like, I know a lot of times when we play a new game, we get overhyped, and then we come back and we do our follow-up episode, and we give a little lower score. Okay, there's some things.
It's usually a little lower. I don't see myself.
I don't see it. I haven't seen it. Don't knock on wood. I haven't seen one glitch.
No glitches. No bugs. Yep. No pop in. No pop in. No texture pop ins.
Yep.
Dude.
That's fantastic.
I've had a couple. I've had a couple moments where like I'll do a grab kill like close to a wall and it'll kind of reorient itself and like the animation might be a little off, but that's not the game's like problem. It's me. I mean, I'm stuck in a corner. It's not glitching out and causing a problem.
Yeah. It's not a game breaking.
A game's got to do what a game's got to do.
Yeah, for sure.
But no loading screens.
Unless you die.
You get in these moments where like you're traveling through the realm that's like you're inside this thing using the Bifrost or whatever, and you're like, okay, I can tell there's a loading screen hidden in here, but it's not a long wait. It's just like, oh, you got to go in here to travel between the realms.
And I love it. I love how they essentially use cutscenes as their loading screens.
The music, dude. That main thing, boom, boom, boom. Have you had that come back, like reprise itself? Mm-hmm. So good. Do you remember at E3 2 years ago at E3, almost 2.5 years ago at E3? When they opened up that with that symphony and it was that boom, boom, boy. He says, what do you say? I'm hungry. Feed us. And he steps out and like the crowd went wild. Yeah. But anyway, God of War for PlayStation 4. Play this game. I'm sure you don't have to listen to this tiny podcast to tell you that.
Yeah, it's all over the internet.
This game is one of the best games ever created.
If you don't play it, you're doing yourself a real disservice if you call yourself a gamer. If you call yourself the kind of gamer that loves these single player experiences, it's not a game, it's an experience. Okay.
If you don't have a PlayStation, go buy a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Go buy the God of War PlayStation. You need to play this game.
You're really doing yourself a
This is
disservice by skipping
I think
on
this
that.
is going to be an industry-defining game. I think it's going to have a lot of things about it that other people are going to try to replicate.
Absolutely.
Such as the whole one continuous shot thing. I think they're going to have a lot of things that people are like, hey, maybe we should put those kind of elements in our game. I can't wait to play more of this game. We're going to get back to you guys about it. We might do a spoiler cast. whenever
Spoiler
we finish
cast
the
and
story.
follow-up score.
So
Official
we'll return
story.
to our normal format next week, maybe.
Y'all
Who knows?
remember when EA said that single player is just not that great anymore?
EA is stupid.
There's your title.
So, God of War, play this game.
Play it. I'm Steven.
I'm Jacob.
I'm Brandon. Bye. Hey, thanks for watching that video. Please like, comment, subscribe. It helps us out a bunch. If you're listening to us on our RSS feed, give us a 5-star
Thank
review or
you.
whatever.
Thank
It helps us out a bunch. Click here for other things. If you're watching this on video, there's other things for us to watch, like this A Way Out review I did, or some other thing that I did.
30-second review on the run.
Yeah, do that.
Something
thing.
like that.
I don't know.